Are Gen Z software engineers in trouble? That's the topic I want to talk about today. I'm Gen Z myself, and I'm 27, so I just kind of caught like the first part of being Gen Z, depending on what you read. But I am Gen Z, and I really have concerns about our generation moving forward and the generation following us. Specifically in software engineering, I think it's going to be problematic as we've seen a not only an increase in difficulty in getting a software engineering job, but also an increase in difficulty in getting specifically a junior software engineering job. To really illustrate this point, based on my last two videos and a number of comments that I read through, I've read through some people's comments talking about their difficulty finding a junior engineer job, or they found a junior job and then unfortunately lost it and they're having difficulty finding another junior job. And I think that, well, first of all, like, it's unfortunate to hear all those stories, and I've heard stories personally of that happening to people in my own circle, and it really stinks, and I really feel sorry for anyone who has to go through that. But I think it's almost like we're in a spot where finding a junior job is super hard, but keeping it is also difficult. But if you lose it, now you're in a tough spot because you've like started getting experience, but now when you go to apply, unfortunately, I think it's going to be counted against you that you weren't at your first job a while, even though it was completely out of your control that you lost it. And I think employers are looking at that, and unfortunately, I think writing a lot of junior developers off because of a gap in work, or just lack of years experience. And I think it's really unfortunate, and I think that it's only getting worse. And I really worry about my generation and the generation after me. I worry about it in the sense that, one, is this trend continuing? Is it just only going to get harder and harder to find and keep engineering jobs as we see the economy change and just the overall labor force or labor market just change in how it's structured? It seems it's getting harder. But two, I also worry about my generation and the next generation, specifically in terms of overall cost of living. This is a huge one. I mean, I used to live in Florida, and Florida doesn't have any rent control in the state, which I personally knew somebody, my friend, whose rent went from $800 a month to $1,600 a month in 1 year. I mean, that's unbelievable. It's 100%. I mean, it's unbelievable. I couldn't believe it when I heard it. And frankly, I wouldn't have believed it had I not like hung out with him all the time. And I've seen it, so that forced him to not only have to reconsider where he lived, but I read that happening elsewhere too, just in various other locations as well. And this specifically was around Tampa, Florida, and so that's one instance, and other instances of rent being absurdly high. I mean, I saw homes for rent going for $4,000 a month. I mean, I saw rent for a 2-bedroom in suburbs out like half hour outside of Tampa for $2,000 to $2,500 a month. I mean, that's rent. It's the same. That's the same price as a mortgage, and I fear for the overall affordability of today's economy for our generation and everyone who follows, because it's making it that much harder to step out into the world and start a junior dev job and actually like get firm footing in the world. It's just making it very, very difficult. And I'm not trying to be prescriptive with any solution, or I'm not trying to be opinionated about anything, but I'm really just trying to present what the current situation is like. I mean, when you go to the store and you have basic essentials exceeding $7. You have gas exceeding $4. You have your rent that's $2,500 a month. And you have all your utilities, you have your phone, and all these things are steadily increasing. Couple that with inflation that's north of 7% and has been for over a year and a half. And also couple that with the fact that wages have kind of been stagnant and haven't rose in relation, like haven't rose at the same rate that cost of living and inflation has. I mean, something's got to change because this is a real problem. And my generation is going to face these effects. I mean, we're already seeing it in terms of the overall housing crisis. I mean, the home prices are just, I mean, they're unbelievable. I mean, like people's home values increased 3 times in less than 2 years. And to get into a new home today, you have to go into a bidding war with over 40 people for $40,000 to $50,000 over asking price. And on top of that, we're seeing homes being sold that want you to waive the inspection and remedy period. I mean, come on. I mean, what are we supposed to do? So I understand that the world's economy has changed over the past few years, but I mean, we got to figure something out because this is going to, I mean, severely affect Gen Z and people trying to just get their foot into the door, like start life. I mean, and you know, based on other comments I've been reading, just this overall difficulty in finding software engineer jobs, particularly junior developer jobs. I mean, I really feel like we have to, as a collective community of engineers, I mean, we got to make some kind of change. I mean, we have to, I don't know what we have to do, but that's just the feeling that I have, is that what currently is happening now is not sustainable. Something is going to happen. I don't know what that is, but I don't know if we're headed to a recession. I don't know what's happening, but that was the Florida economy. The overall Midwest economy is not as, I would say, severe as Florida, but we're seeing the same effects in terms of home prices and rent prices just skyrocketing. I mean, rent used to be, less than $1,000 consistently in many, many places. Now it's north of $2,000. And again, I mean, this is a really, really big problem. Home ownership used to be kind of like the standard, right? For the U.S. economy, everyone told you to, you go to college, you get a job, and then you go buy a home. Well, now I think it's shifting from, okay, you go to college, and then you go look for where you can rent, and then you have to pay off a mountain of debt. It's very unfortunate, and but I don't want to be all like doom and gloom about everything. I really still believe that engineering presents a significant opportunity in the economy, and I think that it still has the potential, and we talked about this last video, it still has the potential for you still have the potential to do really, really well in an engineering job, particularly software engineering. There's just such a wide array of jobs available that are encompassed in software engineering. There's such a wide variety of specialties, cloud operations, like AI, machine learning, web-based technologies. I mean, there's so many, or even more research-oriented jobs. And it's, as long as there's that opportunity, and as long as there's potential to advance in whatever specialty that you want to do, and as long as there's just freely available information about technologies, languages, and the application of all those, I mean, I don't see opportunity slipping away anytime soon in this field. So I really am optimistic about software engineering still. I'm very positive. I think software engineering is one of the best, if not the best, career opportunity for people currently in 2024. That's my personal belief. I really think it's that good of an opportunity. If somebody were to ask me what career path they should go in life, I would 100% recommend software engineering. And it still has the potential to offer you a living in today's economy. And I think that that's really, really good. Now, will that change? I don't know. Will that improve over time? Hopefully. Will it get worse? Maybe. We'll see. So I really don't have an opinion one way or the other, or a belief regarding that. But time will tell, and that's kind of where I'm at on it. So anyway, yeah, thank you all for watching. Again, I appreciate the response from last video too, and the prior video that we talked about more software engineering jobs and the shortage of software engineers. So thank you all for interacting with the comments and watching those videos, and I'll see you on the next one.